After 60, there are three things, three places, and three types of people you should never tolerate again. Not because you're angry, but because you finally learned what your peace is worth. Some words carry regret. Some places reopen old wounds. Some people drain the last light you have worked so hard to protect. No one prepares you for this stage, the quiet grief of realizing how much of yourself you've given away, to be liked, to be needed, to keep the peace. Hi, it's Vernon again. In today's video, I'll walk with you through three things, three places, and three kinds of people you must walk away from after 60. And this message is about the quiet strength it takes to let go of the words that wound you, the spaces that drain you, and the people who dim your spirit. Not because you're bitter, but because you're done carrying what no longer belongs. Let go of the need to explain yourself. Let go of the people who only show up when they want something. Let go of the habits that leave you feeling invisible. This isn't for the part of you trying to keep up. It's for the part that's quietly exhausted. Your peace is not a luxury. It's your birthright. So no, I won't offer you more to chase. I'll offer you this: permission to say less, do less, go less, and breathe more, fully, freely, on your own terms. If this truth feels like a home your heart's been looking for, don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel. It might be the one reminder you needed before it's too late. Come sit with me a while. Let's begin this next chapter, clear-eyed, unburdened, and finally free.
1. Stop saying things that make you feel small. There are certain words you must stop saying after 60, not because they offend others, but because they quietly diminish you. You see, language isn't just a tool, it's a mirror. And over the years, many of us have learned to speak in ways that make us disappear. I'm too old for that. I can't learn anymore. I don't want to be a burden. We say these things softly, often with a smile, but behind that smile is a surrender of curiosity, of dignity, of the possibility that we're still becoming. The danger of these words is not their volume, but their frequency. Repeated enough, they create grooves in the mind. You stop exploring, you stop asking, you stop expressing what you really feel, and slowly you stop being seen. Not because others stopped looking, but because you stopped standing in the light. As the poet David Whyte once wrote, "The voice you speak with today is the voice you will live with tomorrow." Speak gently, but speak truthfully, especially to yourself. After 60, every word you speak either affirms your presence or erases it. And that choice belongs to you. This stage of life is not a retreat, it's a refinement. You are not here to fade into politeness or disappear into the background. You are here to speak with the full weight of your years, clear, grounded, and without shame. So choose words that widen your world, not shrink it. Say, "I'm learning," instead of "I can't." Say, "I choose peace," instead of "I don't want to bother anyone." Say, "I still matter," even if no one else is saying it yet. Because the truth is, your words set the tone for how others will treat you, but more importantly, they shape how you treat yourself. And after all these years, you deserve to speak to yourself with the same respect you've given everyone else. Now, let's take a deeper breath and look at not just what we say, but where we go. Because some places, no matter how familiar, no longer honor the person you've become.
2. Stop going where your spirit feels small. Not long ago, I walked into a place I used to visit every Sunday for years. A small community gathering, familiar faces, familiar greetings. But that day, something shifted. The smiles felt thinner, the conversations more surface level. And I noticed something that had always been there, but I was finally ready to see. I had outgrown the space. Not physically, not even socially, but spiritually. There was no malice in that room, only misunderstanding, the kind that happens when you've grown and others haven't noticed. I left that day with a quiet ache, not of rejection, but of release. It took me weeks to stop going. It felt like giving up something important. But the truth is, peace sometimes asks you to step away from places that once held you, because they no longer hold space for you. We don't talk enough about this, how we keep returning to rooms that no longer fit us, out of duty, out of habit, out of guilt. But here's what I've learned. If a place leaves you feeling smaller each time you leave it, it's not a place worth returning to. After 60, every environment you enter either nourishes your spirit or drains it. And you have the right, no, the responsibility, to choose spaces that reflect who you are now, not who you used to be. Growth isn't always loud. Sometimes it's as quiet as walking away from a room that no longer hears you. Sometimes it's as simple as not sitting at a table where you are only tolerated, not truly seen. This is the season for sacred spaces, conversations that feed you, people who light up when you enter, environments where your silence is respected and your presence is honored. Your energy is precious now, and not every room deserves it. So ask yourself, where do I keep showing up just because I always have? And more importantly, what would it feel like to stop? Think about that, and if you're willing, share your answer and comment. I'd love to read what your heart has been carrying. But sometimes, it isn't the place that wears you down. It's the presence beside you. So, let's turn our attention now to something even heavier than rooms, the people we allow in them.
3. Be careful who you let into your life. Have you ever left a conversation feeling emptier than when you entered it? Not angry, just depleted, like something was taken from you without permission? After 60, that feeling isn't just a mood, it's a message. Some people don't come to offer connection, they come to unload, to drain, to remind you of your past mistakes, your losses, your limits. And while you may not notice it right away, their presence slowly wears down the softest parts of you, your hope, your joy, your sense of possibility. This isn't about judgment, it's about discernment. Because at this stage of life, kindness must include boundaries. Compassion must include clarity. And love, real love, must include the courage to walk away when your peace is on the line. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not everyone has earned a seat in your presence. Some people will only ever see you through the lens of who you used to be. Others will try to keep you small, not out of cruelty, but because your growth makes them uncomfortable. Either way, you are not here to carry the emotional weight of people who refuse to carry their own. You are not the dumping ground for unresolved pain. You are not the audience for someone else's bitterness. You are not a background character in someone else's chaos. You are allowed to outgrow people. You are allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to choose solitude over noise. This chapter of life isn't about how many people surround you. It's about how deeply you are seen by the few who remain. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do is to quietly walk away. Because some connections aren't broken, they're complete. Now let's turn inward, away from what drains us and toward what heals us. Because the next thing we must talk about isn't about people or places. It's about what we carry and what we must finally lay down.
4. Let go of the weight you were never meant to carry. There comes a point in every life where you realize this: not every burden you hold belongs to you. Guilt, resentment, unspoken regrets, these are the invisible weights we carry for decades, convinced they're part of who we are, but they're not. They're what's been handed to us, and often we've carried them longer than we've carried our own dreams. A 2021 study from the University of Toronto found that older adults who practiced conscious emotional release, particularly through writing and reflection, reported significantly lower levels of anxiety and improved sleep quality over a 6-month period. In other words, when you lay it down, your body rests too. The philosopher Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And how true that is. How many sleepless nights, how many heavy silences, how many missed moments we've endured, not because of what's happening, but because of what we're still holding. The truth is, you don't have to carry every memory, every mistake, every unmet expectation like it's a debt you owe the world. You are allowed to put things down. You are allowed to forgive without reconciling. You are allowed to grieve without explanation. You are allowed to move forward without dragging the past behind you like a shadow. Letting go isn't weakness, it's clarity. It's the wisdom to know what's yours to hold and what's not. And if no one's ever said it to you clearly, you don't have to keep carrying what's been breaking you down. What if the life you've been longing for isn't waiting at the end of more effort, but in the quiet space that opens up the moment you stop clinging and start receiving? Not with tired hands, but open ones. 5. Choose what truly nourishes you. I once spent an entire season of my life saying yes to things that looked good on the outside, but left me hollow on the inside. Invitations, opportunities, conversations, all of them appeared meaningful, but none of them fed me.
Eventually, I had to ask myself, am I filling my time, or am I feeding my soul? That shift in question changed everything. The older we get, the more we realize time isn't the currency anymore. Energy is, and what you give your attention to becomes your atmosphere. A 2019 study from the University of Exeter showed that seniors who engaged regularly in meaningful, fulfilling activities, whether creative expression, quiet reflection, or time in nature, had better memory retention and emotional stability than those who kept busy just to feel productive. In other words, it's not about staying active, it's about staying aligned. This chapter of life is sacred. It's the first time many of us are no longer working to prove anything. So the question becomes, now that no one is telling you what to do, how will you choose to live? Not everything that asks for your time deserves it. Not every opportunity is a calling. Not every voice is worth turning toward. Ask yourself, what truly nourishes me now? Is it still achievement, or is it simplicity? Is it approval, or is it presence? Is it being everything to everyone, or is it finally being whole with yourself? There is no right answer, only your answer. But one thing is certain. When you choose nourishment over noise, what's meant for you finds its way in, and what isn't fades quietly out. Now let's turn to one last truth, a gentle but powerful reminder about legacy and the quiet strength of living not just long, but deeply right to the very end.
6. Leave light, not just years, behind. The true measure of a life well lived isn't counted in decades. It's felt in what lingers after you're gone. At this stage of life, legacy becomes less about what you've done, but more about how you've made others feel. It's not the achievements on paper, but the emotional fingerprints you leave behind, the quiet encouragement, the honesty in your voice, the way your presence gave someone else permission to slow down, to breathe, to believe. Western philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson once wrote, "To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived, this is to have succeeded." It's easy to think legacy is reserved for the famous, the loud, the world changers. But the truth is, the most powerful legacies are personal. They are passed hand to hand, heart to heart, in kitchens, on walks, in quiet conversations. And yet, too many of us reach these later years asking, "Did I do enough?" But maybe the better question is, what do I want to leave behind in the hearts of those I love? It could be a sense of calm, a memory of laughter, a moment when someone felt truly seen. This is your invitation to live not just longer, but clearer, to become a lighthouse for someone else,
not by effort, but by alignment, by choosing to be fully yourself, gently and without apology. Because in the end, no one remembers how fast you moved. They remember how deeply you made them feel. And now, as we bring this message to a close, I invite you to carry just one word with you, not as a lesson, but as a companion for the road ahead.
What you've just heard is not a checklist. It's a quiet compass pointing you back to yourself. After 60, we are not here to prove we still can. We are here to choose what still matters, and in that choosing, there is freedom. You've learned that words can shape your world, and silence can protect it. That places can lift you or lower you. That people can either mirror your light or slowly extinguish it. That letting go is not a loss, but a return. That nourishment isn't found in doing more, but in aligning deeper. And that legacy is not made from effort, but from essence. Who you've been when no one asked you to perform. So as you walk into the rest of your days, however many or few, walk lightly. Speak with care. Sit only where you are seen, and love from the deepest, kindest part of yourself, not because the world demands it, but because your soul finally allows it. You don't need to carry everything forward, just the wisdom, just the warmth, just what keeps you whole. If something in this message gave you pause, even for a moment, don't let it pass in silence. Leave a comment, share your thoughts, or send this to someone who might need it. You never know whose burden your words might ease. And if this kind of quiet truth speaks to your soul, don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel, not out of urgency, but out of care. Because this space is for you, the part of you that's still listening, still growing, still becoming. You don't get many chances to hear your soul whisper. This channel might just be one of them.